Hi everyone. If you came across my channel, this video is probably meant for you. It's either to plant a seeds, help you find some insight, or start you on a new path. Maybe it's here to piss you off so you can see how much anger you have over the situations that I talk about. My name's Deb. I talk about the human experience to help others gain insight into their human experience, and there's some massive change happening right now. You can't expect to go from no internet, no technology, very structured systems to freedom of internet, freedom of being able to make money with our passions, freedom of receiving information, sharing information, freedom of being able to connect with people all over the world instantaneously. It is undeniable that there will be a shift in humankind when that happens. And then you throw in the things the earth is going through, whether that's from us pulling oil out of the oceans, whatever. I mean, think of all the materialistic things that we have. All of these things had to come from earth somehow. And I say that in a hypocritical way because it actually comes from our projection. Like it's just energy. But in science and this earthly world, we're told it comes from earth. So if you were to think about that, every little thing that you see, touch, feel, you're taking away from earth. Of course, she's going to be upset. Have you ever been in a relationship where it was very one sided and you felt like you were carrying all the weight and someone never said thank you and they just kept taking and taking? Like that sucks. I'm I'm like shaking inside just remembering those relationships. And that's the relationship that humans have created with Earth. And so Earth is shifting and changing and wants a better life for herself. Humans want a better life for themselves. Sorry, I'm looking at the microphone, making sure it's turned on. I really hope so because I've been having issues with it all week. And and then you have the solar system aspects. And keep in mind, all anything that I mention in a physical world, 3D, I'm saying very lightly because 222 when I say that, the reality of reality is that none of it exists. It's all created in our head, right? Whether that's a like a holographic light projection or we're just God having a dream, like there aren't big balls of fire in the sky floating around gravitationally, but like they are. It's so paradoxical from how we can understand things as a human perspective because we're also only viewing it from what our eyes and instruments are able to view things. Like as a human experience, we only see a certain percentage of what actually exists. And that is from a science perspective, not even the spiritual perspective, not talking about angels and spirits and energies, but like from the science of everything is energy. Everything is energy. Like this place is crazy. And I'm just like, I am so excited because as a child, I knew that this is what the world was like. And then I grew up, I started going to school and I started becoming an adult and people are telling me all these things and I'm like none of this makes any sense. None of it. And so now that like there's this collective awakening happening that follows what I have known to be true as a child, like I am excited. I want to cry because that makes me think. I just told someone this yesterday. They were explaining their lack of a family support system. And sidetrack for a moment. If you're watching my videos, if you are feeling called to the awakening, to change, if you're noticing the glitches in the matrix, if this is you, you are most likely the black sheep of the family. You probably don't have a good family support system. Or if you do have a good family support system, it's because your parents probably were the black sheep of their family and they already did the generational work a step ahead of you. Um, or your family was very wealthy. And there's a spiritualness to wealth. Do not knock wealth. Wealth is, it doesn't make people, it doesn't mean you're snobby. It doesn't mean that you had to do bad things to get it. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. So I feel like there's some beliefs that people think nobody should be wealthy because if you're wealthy, that means you're not giving back as much as you should be giving back. Like Should someone be allowed to have $1 billion while there are starving people? That's kind of extreme. Probably not, right? Like, how many billions would it take to feed everyone? Would that person still be left with millions? A few million? I don't know. And so we perceive money in a very odd way. And money is 100% not what we've been told what it is. If you are struggling financially, I highly suggest that you look up money beliefs and money blocks and all of these self help things. Use them. Don't latch onto them as gold, as solid beliefs. Use them as tools. Take what you want from it, leave what doesn't serve you, and then move on. Like, we are here to morph and create our own reality in such the exciting sense that we get to pick and choose what we're attaching ourselves to. I kind of lost my train of thought there because it's, I think I've sidetracked 3 different times now. Sidetracking again. We get to pick and choose, but the ultimate choice is to choose what God wants to move through you. What I wanted for my life over these last few years was something totally different. And I was very capable of making the things happen. And it would have been impressive to all in a certain way, but it wasn't, I'm not here for that. I have been blessed with such a unique set of life experiences and opportunities that have created the avatar that you see, that I am able to allow things to come through and help others in such a way that most people have never experienced before. I'm humble, I know. God told me to stop being humble. I don't need to be humble because the experience is felt. And I can say that with truth. So if any of this resonates with you, that means that's you also, right? And you're going to be the black sheep of the family. This is where it all ties back in. This is why we sidetrack. You're the black sheep of the family to be a grid anchor for that different energy. Have you ever seen a mandala? There's always that center, right? And think of a pond, nice and still, right? And then you throw one rock in, so you have the center of that ripple and it starts rippling. And then you throw in another rock and that one starts rippling. Have you ever watched what happens when those ripples meet each other? Right? It becomes a grid pattern, right? It's like you have the ripples and then they come across and then all of a sudden it's like a grid. That was really weird. I don't know. That grid work is the reality of life to an infinite level. And whatever is happening right now with this earth, this human experience, this 3D dimension, this highly sophisticated projected video game dreamland of God, I think that sums it all up. Whatever is happening right now is something that hasn't happened in the timeline that anyone alive can honestly perceive, right? It may have happened like at Atlantis or Egyptian times, whatever those times were, we really have no idea. I know we're not building big pyramids and writing on walls. So I know that our experience is not like their experience. I know that our structures don't exude the same majestical magnificence that Atlantis exudes, or the mystery of like Easter Island, or like what are we doing during this time to to say that we are in comparison to them, to be as, it's just like, what are we leaving behind, right? And so in our lifetimes, in my lifetime, I think of humans as being full of war and arguing and conflict. Sorry, I was looking down. I don't know if you've watched enough of my videos, you'll notice that my once things start flowing, my eyes aren't part of what's happening, and body language. Yes, focus. If you hire me for a speaking gig, yes, there's tips and tricks. If I'm getting paid for something, delivering something specific, that's very different. But what my eyes are running to. So I could go off on so many different side tangents. It was going off on cards. My story of cards is very special and unique, and not for right now. Let me take a drink. I haven't touched my cards in a very long time, and today I touched them. It was 11:11 when I said that. I'm not sure how mirrored or not the video is going to be, but we have action. Action was on the bottom of the deck when I opened the box upside down, like flipped over and then popped it off, kind of like how sometimes you do with cakes. And I'm not going to say never, but I don't open my box that way. And even my cards. The only reason I called my cards this video, I just felt like today's video needed, I just felt I've been filled with heat. And I've noticed that the heat is when God is trying to talk to me, when guides or spirit or energy is trying to come through to me. Wow, I'm like filling up with emotion right here, right now. Ooh, there's things, it's weird because as you see, you don't see what's happening. There's things happening inside. So that's what's being aware is about, is paying attention to those sensations, right? And I feel like God maybe just put that through right there so that you could witness it too, because I get those things and God said, grab your cards. And so I did. I opened them a completely different way than I normally do. And I got this card of action, which I spoke in one of my recent videos inadvertently. I'd probably have to explain it for you to realize the connection. And then next was responsibility. Responsibility, discipline, and then desires. I'm not going to actually show that card. Well, desires. It has a woman who is floating in the abyss with a white cloak around her and bubbles with her arms outreached. Desires, goals, passion, craving, fulfillment. So, let me tell you what these cards mean to me. And yes, they come with a little book. Some cards I look up, some cards, sometimes just the image is enough, right? Like an image, a picture says 1,000 words. So sometimes just the image is enough. And these are actually a chakra insight oracle card site. So the first one is red for our root chakra, right? And let me tell you, 15 years ago, I didn't know the colors of the chakras. I made it a goal. It's like, I keep hearing this word. I know that there's a lot to learn and I want to learn them. So I did. And now I do. And it's great. So, action, it's a woman dancing, right? Nice and red. She's not paying attention. When you're dancing, the world around you fades away. You're fully internal, fully fulling and allowing flow to come through you. And that's what action is. In the video the other day, I was like throwing out the idea of a 5-year plan. I love 5-year plans as a life coach. 5-year plans are necessary to put down in paper. Do I believe that you're going to follow that 5-year plan? No, because I know you're actually going to crush that 5-year plan out of the water. That's how we work when we work with Debb Ashby, right? Like, we aim for a goal here, and I'm going to encourage you that it's like the highest that you can be, right? And you're going to end up here or here, like off the camera, right? Because it's just when you learn how to listen to the authenticity of you, but then also learn to listen to the truth that is God and learn how to balance those, the world becomes very magical very quickly. If you're watching this video, this is meant for you. Normal people will not understand this. If you're watching this, you get it. You're here for it because you're experiencing it and it's coming for you as well. Right? So I think there was another side tangent backing up at one point where I'd mentioned the plans I had for my life. I would probably be on a plane somewhere right now, and I'm not. I am sitting in my bedroom 7 days a week recording these videos because God's plan for me is a high, the words higher calling came to me. It's a higher calling, and it's something that my spirit was meant to do before I was even born. Like, I wasn't even supposed to be born. My parents were done having kids. My closest sibling is 5 years older than me. My parents are they were significantly older in age when I was born. Like, they were done. And I almost died coming out. Like, I mean, a lot of people almost die coming out, but I'm one of those. I have that statistic. And my son has that statistic too. So we have that bonding. Oh, teary. And it was just everything in my life has been so synchronistic and so special and so blessed and protected that I can say these things with truth and with the experience of knowing the difference of me as Deb and the human ego and the things that God flows through me. If you're just listening and not watching, I just needed to take a drink. Okay, so action. We have a 5-year plan. Great. We're going to knock it out of the water. Yes. How are we going to knock it out of the water? We're going to listen to the intuition that is our human gut and also our heart and our connection to God. We're going to mix all that together and we're going to take it day by day. We're honestly not even going to think. We're going to write down our 5-year plan like once, or, there's different steps. So because it's not just a 5-year thing, like you break it down. So it will go through, but then once you write it down, we're forgetting it. We're not looking at it again. From that time, we know what our North Star is, right? And then from there, we're going to follow in the path of flow and God every single moment, every single day. And if that interferes with if making a choice today interferes with what you have going on tomorrow, like that's where you have to balance the human ego. How much of the human ego trumps God? What side are you on? And it takes practice. I have a lot of decades of thinking I was aligned to making the right choices. A lot of my wrong choices I made knowing they needed to be made. I knew they were wrong choices and I made them knowing they needed to be made because it's part of the process. That brings me to the responsibility. It's yellow. I'm guessing that's yellow. Desires is kind of brown, so I guess maybe that's their orange. I could look in the book, but I'm going to say their brown is an orange, so that's going to be their sacral. So the responsibility, oh, yeah, it says self-discipline, empowerment, reliability, and fulfillment. That's totally solar plexus, right? Solar plexus is our digestive system, our gut. Like, I used to think the solar plexus was kind of the belly button, and the belly button's kind of really a center thing. I've had a surgery on my belly button, and I know energetically, like, I have a lot of energy there. And the more I follow God, the more it comes out. So I'm really excited for this path of following God. And I cannot believe I just said that. There's the title of my video, because honestly and truly, I got married at 17 years old in a black dress And my book collection consisted of the Satanic Bible, numerology, a book of where to find pagan witchcraft stores. And here I am pulling oracle cards and talking about God. All right, so I don't know what mixture of this is, but also like the 3D and the 5D, and I don't 5D might be blasphemous to people that are religious. I'm not really sure. I mean, I think I am kind of sure. That's probably why I said that, because I feel like people that are really, really religious would be like, "Oh no, that's devil work." But it's we're working with God here, okay? So, responsibility, self-discipline, empowerment, reliability, and fulfillment. And it is a seed. It's a little plant someone's holding, right? Like this one I did look up in the book a little bit, and it's they're saying the seed is protected as long as it's being held. But there's going to be a time that you have to put the roots in the ground and let it grow to its own accord. You can still nurture it if you, right? And so, yes, we need to take daily reaction or daily action. Reaction is a different thing. Sorry, notification popped up. Hopefully, everything's still working. But we still want to be taking those actions with discipline and responsibility, right? Like we still have a responsibility to keep ourselves healthy and a clear vessel for God to move through. We still want to keep ourselves sane and happy so that we can enjoy life and help others around us flourish and grow. We have a responsibility of becoming good community members so that we can create a place where there aren't systems that grow broken humans. If any, I feel like that sentence needs to go viral, honestly, because that's what it's about. All right. And the last one is desires. I'm just moving on from that. I am on fire right now, and it's getting a little hard to talk. Also, I am on a time constraint for the real world of life because others depend on me at this moment, and God has given me a calling. I'm telling you, my energy's on fire right now. So responsibility, right? Like I didn't I was in a corporate world for a while and I left. And I was like, I'm never going back. I had a great, amazing life where I had a lot of fun and I was outside a lot. Like my hair was near white and now it's brown. And that's because I don't spend as much time outdoors. Do I go outside every single day? Absolutely. Am I grounding every single day and getting sunshine and talking to God and nature and more importantly, water? Like blessing water every day. Like, oh, so key, right? Small changes in your life to connect to God are so key. And yet, going into the corporate world has been a wonderful lesson. It's that spiral of growth, right? Like, I needed the lessons of being wild and free and connecting to nature in a way that, I mean, there's not many people that live in where I live year round that get to connect to nature in the way that I have here. And it's beautiful. And I'm so blessed that I get to do that. But my heart is also broken because I know my child hasn't experienced that. How has he been able to grow up here and not have that same experience? And it's because I've still been working through, there were still beliefs that I had that were preventing us from being into that next level, right? Like victimhood still and trauma. We've gone through some stuff. And at this point, we've gone through it together. The emotions are coming up. And there's a responsibility, a reliability, but also a desire. Desire is the last one. I guess we're flowing back into the desire. I desire to have meaningful relationships in my life. And I felt that when I thought I had life figured out. I was engaged with everything paid for, living on 2.5 acres in the mountains, working for a company that I could go fly on a plane for free. I won. I had a puppy, I had a kitty, I got to be with my son every day. We went skiing. We it was we had fun. It was a good time. And then I had my spiritual awakening. See the energy. I can feel the energy behind my eyes. There's tears in my eyes. There was one moment where God spoke to me for a specific choice, and I chose. God didn't tell me what to choose. He told me I had a choice. He didn't lead on to which one was the right one. That was one choice. I didn't know if I was making the right one, but so, I led a certain way. And I really enjoyed the life afterwards. As much you can see, it hurts still that I lost that life, but I didn't lose it. It's still there. You still have to integrate it. How many people do you know can sit here and talk and still try to explain emotions as they're having an emotional response? That's resilience. When I say what is resilience, this is resilience. I have a responsibility to make this video and finish this video regardless of what emotions are coming up, but I'm also not suppressing them. I could take the time to breathe through it, and it'd probably only take 30 to 90 seconds. Two to three breaths, and the lump in my chest is already gone. When I left my engagement, there was an understanding between him and I that there was a very obvious yearning inside of me that needed to be fulfilled, a craving and a fulfillment. And I did that. I manifested things that I didn't even know existed. The world didn't even know existed. Do you know what highlighting is? I sure didn't. It's a lot more popular now thanks to social media. But when I was wow, okay, so just life. There's so much life that I had lived, and I needed to live it so I could understand community and love and friendship and passion, and it's lessons, right? But now I don't have the same craving for fulfillment that I had when I left that engagement. Like that's all been absorbed, absolved, I think is the right word that I want. And it's a beautiful thing. And now I can take those lessons and step into the corporate world, and I am loving it. Like there's so much that my brain is and my personality is able to work with and grow with. Excuse me, one moment. Okay, I had to wipe my nose. Um yeah, so speaking of the timeline of my awakening, one of the biggest tips and tricks of my awakening, your illnesses aren't they're not viruses. They're not bugs. They're not bacteria. Your tears, your snot is emotion. So anytime you have emotion, or anytime you have allergies can definitely be a thing, but it's just whenever your body is reacting that way on a spiritual level, it's telling you something, and or it's releasing something. Science might have labeled it as a virus. There's a lot more to it. A lot of your injuries, go Google what that injury means from a spiritual perspective. You'll learn a lot. And the more you learn how to talk to this human avatar, the more you can live a fulfilled life. I feel like that's a fulfilling video. You watched me sidetrack so many times. I found my one sentence that should go viral. Should. I do not like the word should, but like that, oh, that word was so powerful. For me, I love that moment. It's already viral in my own heart because it's going to be on repeat nonstop in my own heart. I feel like I was able to thoroughly explain cards without a book. That's an amazing progression for me. I think I'm still within, I keep looking at the time a lot. So sometimes I look at the camera, a lot of time I look at the time. The I, I I'm worried about work. People rely on me. And you beautiful people, if you stuck through this video, if you are listening to this, like, be prepared for what's coming in your life because you are about to be amazed. You are about to be so fulfilled. Also, maybe be prepared for a dark night of the soul, but you'll handle it because you're resilient and you can. And if you feel like you can't, just come back to my channel. You'll find a message that's meant for you because I definitely have those dark nights of the soul, and the messages will definitely be there. All right, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what it is you're excited about for your 5-year plan that you're actually going to knock out of the water, right? Set it, forget it, and then live through flow. My name's Deb. I am here sharing my human experience with my morning coffee, helping others understand their human experience with a little more clarity. Have a blessed, blessed day.